was, they would for Liverpool, but those three not even on the bench. So Chelsea, same team as at Manchester City last weekend. Petrovic, Gusto, Disasi, Colwill and Chilwell, Caicedo and Fernandes, Tarmac, Gallagher, Sterling and Jackson. And for Liverpool, two changes from their league game in midweek. So Robertson comes into the side and left back, Konate into central defence. So the team is Kelleher, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, McAllister, Endo and Gravenberg, and then Elliott, Gakpo and Diaz. Thanks very much to John later on this afternoon from Wembley. Chelsea against Liverpool. Once we get to half-time here in Molineux, this is when Liverpool will switch their attentions to the build-up to that game. This match will be on Sports Extra. Wolves leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. 32 minutes played now. Nouri outside the penalty area. Tries to dink one in, looking for Sarabi again. Sakama copying the goal. This on the block, on the cross, and the ball triples out for a corner to Wolves on the left-hand side. Wolves fans will feel they deserve this lead. Yeah, they do. But you know what? Sheffield United probably have the two best chances, and that's the difference. You don't take your chances, and you don't defend properly. That is why you're at the bottom of the table. Yeah, Brewster unable to hit the target. McAtee, who couldn't get under his control, he did get it on target, but it was a back pass. It was so tame. And then down the other end come Wolves, who take the lead. Here comes the corner, played in by Sarabia. Larousse heads in the first defender. McAtee controls on the edge of the box. And he's got no one ahead of him. He's nowhere to go, and he just passes it up to nobody on the halfway line, and Wolves regain possession once again. This could be a long afternoon now for Sheffield United. It can, because listen, when they've conceded one, they go and concede two or three, and then it starts getting out of hand for them, especially when you've created chances. Season that is threatened to get out of hand for Sheffield United for a long time. You come here to Molineux with some memories of bright spots. Sheffield United's first was against Wolves, but now if they're to repeat the trick today, they're going to have to come wide to do it. Sharabia's touch is asking a lot of Neto, but he's so fast, Neto, and he's glided through. And then he's very unfortunate not to pick out Nelson Semedo. A poke of a pass that just went the wrong side on the right wing back, who made a great run forward. They're blistering now, Wolves. They're enjoying it, you can tell. This is Sarabia, just outside the penalty area. Gives it to Petro Neto. 6 teammates wait in the middle. Here it comes from Neto, blocked with the chest of Larousse. Screams of handball, but it came off his chest. And then clearance again by Larousse. Doesn't go very far, and Sheffield United can't hold on to it. Neto, right wing position, level with the edge of the penalty area that Wolves attack. Kilman has come forward to join. This is Gomez playing a 1-2 with Nouri. Sheffield United can't get a kick. He's so sharp. Semedo, shot turn around Vinicius Souza. Then he takes him on again to the byline, floats it in. No to the back post. Quang didn't fancy charging towards it. McAtee clears it away, and he's hurt to the process. Caught by Kilman. That's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United on the edge of their own penalty area. Yeah, some respite, but before that, the run from Neto was brilliant. He's like twinkle toes, isn't he, Connor? And I think it's a good ball. I just think Semedo, he just slips at the crucial moment when he's in on goal. But yeah, they're a joy to watch. The front three, even Sarabia's been outstanding in this first half as well. It's that cross from Nelson Semedo. Wang, who was at the back post, he kind of backpedaled away, hoping it would come to him. Whereas maybe if he'd gone towards the ball, he might have had a chance to get on the end of it. But Sheffield United have struggled with crosses all season. The goal that they've conceded today came from a cross. It's the 17th goal that Sheffield United have conceded from across this campaign, and that is more than any team in the Premier League. Here comes Neto again. Bogles the defender between him and the penalty area. Neto, short touches, rapidly shoots with his right foot, and then sends it marginally over the crossbar. It's a great attempt from Pedro Neto as Wolves look for a second goal ahead of half-time. Yeah, it's good advantage from the referee, because Wang does get clattered on the halfway line, but Neto's one-on-one, and the goalkeeper Gribbage throwing 2 balls on the pitch. They are winding him up. He's had a hard afternoon so far, but the strike from Neto's outstanding. It's just rising over the bar, but he's been the outstanding player in his first half, Connor. He's been great to watch. Petro Neto, who just doesn't matter what team you support or who you're a fan of, he is a player that you love to watch in full flight. Krvic prepares to take the goal kick away to our right. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0, 9 minutes to go of normal time until the break at Molineux. Krvic has just been asked to delay the
restart here, and imagine this is the VAR looking at that challenge a moment ago. As happens, because the communication isn't great, fans don't know why there's a delay.
It's two Sheffield United players are fighting each other. They're checking for violent conduct because Robinson and Souza have collided in the middle of the pitch and pushing each other.
This is massive. Just to explain this for the listeners, there is a VAR check for violent conduct and a possible red card, and it's because one Sheffield United player may have punched a teammate.
Yeah, it was Souza and Robinson squaring up to each other. I've just seen it on the replay, so that's what can happen. When you're in a situation like that, you take it out on each other, but you don't need to be losing a player from hitting each other. I don't think watching a replay now, I can see, look, Robinson and Souza, they're arguing with each other. And it's just little, he pushes him and he pushes him back, that's all.
No, you're not going to get sent off. Even if that was against an opponent, you wouldn't be sent off.
Yeah,
certainly
exactly.
not against one of your own teammates. But look, it sums up the disgruntlement, the unhappiness that Sheffield United are very much feeling. I mean, Chris Wilder will put a spin in and say, look, it shows they care and all that, but it's not a great look when you've got teammates squaring up. And now Robinson's given the ball away inside his own penalty area. Lamina needs to pick the right pass here. Wang wanted to help it on again. Too many cooks spoil the broth. One pass too many there. Someone just needed to shoot, and Sheffield United are able to clear it away. Harmer, midway inside the Wolves half, tries a nutmeg on Nouri, who slammed his heels together. He says, you're not nutmegging me, and he wins the ball back for Wolves.
I don't know why he's trying to nutmeg. They're not winning. You're bottom of the table. You keep the ball. I don't know why you're trying to do nutmeg. Just give it back to Larucci. He's there. It's not time for tricks and flicks. Keep the ball simple.
There have been plenty of indicators, as we've mentioned in the commentary, of why Sheffield United are where they are. This has been a tough watch if you're a Blaze fan. Tough watch for Chris Wilder down there. Totti Gomez comes up to the halfway line and Lamina then sends it back to Dawson. Wolves just pushing the ball around with such ease, and now Kilman pumps it over the top. Trusty ahead of Wang, uncertain touch, came off his shin pad. Wang very strong in the shoulder charge, and then he stumbled, and he's unfortunate there, Wang, because Trusty's bigger and taller than him. Great straight, but it was almost, he'd given so much to the shoulder charge that then he couldn't keep his balance.
Yeah, you're right, it was great strength. Like, it should be a mismatch really, but Wang is strong. He's built in stature, and it was great strength against Trusty. But yeah, right, Connor couldn't keep his feet, but they look a threat every time they go forward, Wolves. And if I'm Wolves and I'm seeing two players arguing with them, with the teammates arguing of the opposition, I'm happy about that.
Relishing that, absolutely. Lamina wins the header. Trusty then gets a touch for Sheffield United. Wang was in an offside position. The referee finally spots the flag is raised. And that is going to be a free kick to the visitors. Norwood trying to instill a bit of urgency, trying to grab the ball and take it quickly, but I'm sure his teammates share that urgency. As Ahmed Hodgic now comes forward down the right-hand side. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0, 6 minutes to go to the break at Molineux. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Full commentary of the League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool to come on this network. Marucci has the ball for Sheffield United on the left-hand side. Nelson Semedo comes out to shadow him, and that forces Sheffield United back once again. Norwood, deep inside his own half. Clever ball to Ahmed Hodgic just over the halfway line. Now out to Jayden Bogle, who returns a 1-2 to Ahmed Hodgic. Now in field to McAtee, who's challenged on the edge of the box. Really good tackle, Joe Gomez. And that brings a promising build-up for Sheffield United to an immediate end and kickstarts a potential counter-attack here as Nelson Semedo comes over the halfway line. Wolves playing from left to right as we look down at the old gold shirts. Sarabia. It's comfortable now for Wolves, it really is.
It is, but they on the break, they can cause problems, Sheffield United. It was good on 1 and 2 touches there, but McAtee can't get his shot off quick enough. And that's been his problem. In that final third, I think he's a special young talent, but has to get his shot off quick enough. He thinks it's a foul by Gomez, but I think it's great defending from Gomez.
Dawson has possession for Wolves. Plays it to Kilman, bang on the halfway line, right-hand side. Little flick from Sarabia, doesn't find Wang. Harmer will give it to Larucci on the left-hand side of the Sheffield United defence. This is Vinicius Sousa, back into Austin Trusty, the United States international. Now Oliver Norwood, still well inside his own half. Wolves just backpedaling away. Norwood tries to pick a pass. It's a well-controlled action by Brewster. Chance to come forward into the penalty area, and then Harmer is out-muscled by Lamina. Very good play, Lamina. What a pass! Neto is on his bike here. Pedro Neto into the penalty area. area. Hwang's inside it, tries to send it in low. Sarabia's arriving here. Larouci shadowing him, and Larouci will clear it away. Wolves looking so dangerous there.
Yeah, it's a bad ball from Neto. It's a great ball from Lamina, but Neto's got to do better. I know he's trying to pick out Hwang, but with his quality, he'll be disappointed. But you got to give credit to Trusty and Larouci. He's really good defending, but it's end-to-end at the moment, Connor.
4 minutes to go of normal time to half-time. Wolves leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. Vinicius Souza has possession. In the 41st minute, there is applause around the stadium. There's a Wolves fan who sadly passed away recently at the young age of just 41. And that is a recognition for her. Her sons are here in the crowd today. A popular Wolves supporter who's been remembered by her fellow fans right now at the moment on an afternoon that's going very well for the home side so far. Wolves leading Sheffield United here by Sarabia's goal to nil.
Robinson's going to send it in. It's going to be a long throw from Robinson. He's going to send it in, but yeah, fantastic from the Wolves fans applauding. But this will be a good throw in this one, Connor.
Yeah. Robinson has got low trajectory, plenty of power. Nelson Semedo wins the header though on the edge of the 6-yard box. And then it's flicked on by Norwood. Ahmed Hodge back to goal. He couldn't get his body shape right to shoot. Here's Brewster. Wanted to take it down, there wasn't the space for that, and this plays into Wolves' hands as Neto comes away with it now, breaking down the other end of the field. Sheffield United need to get bodies back here. Lamina, just outside the penalty area, left-hand side. Neto's available in the middle once again. Lamina takes just a few seconds too long, and Sheffield United gets bodies back again. This is Sarabia outside the penalty area, sends it across straight to the chest of the goalkeeper, Gervich.
So, to be fair, at the other end, Sheffield United have a great chance, but the problem is it's so open. What Neto does is he doesn't trap back. He stays up high, and he's the danger man because he's so quick and it's hard to get back at and defend. But they're causing problems, Sheffield United, and so are Wolves. Wolves have been a better team, but Sheffield United look a threat on the counter-attack.
Sheffield United hoping that there is some miracle lurking around the corner, the likes of which West Brom had in their Great Escape year, the likes of which Leicester City had. Remember the season before they won the title, Leicester, when everyone thought they were going to go down, and they actually finished remarkably well. Here is Hwang into the penalty area for Wolves again. A second goal would surely crush Sheffield United ahead of half-time. Nelson Semedo's up on the right-hand side. He'll roll it back to Sarabia. By the way, I was looking back on it, so the year that West Brom stayed up, they had 17 points at this stage of that season. Leicester City also had 17 points from 25 games played. The trouble for Sheffield United, 25 games played before today, they've only got 13 points.
I don't give them a chance, Connor, and that's not being disrespectful. That's just being brutally honest. They're just not good enough at the moment, so it's been a struggle. But they just have to keep going and keep believing.
Wolves won. Sheffield United nil for now. Neto's in possession. Nice ball for Totti Gomez. Pulls it back for Lamina on the edge of the penalty area. Totti Gomez to continue the run into the penalty area. Shoots it, blocked by Trusty. An important block for the Sheffield United defender on the edge of the 6-yard box. Neto sends it in again. Sarabia! Left-footed shot too high over the crossbar and into the Wolves fans.
Yeah, it's a good chance for Sarabia. He's got great technical ability, but I have to say it's good defending from Trusty when Totti's in on goal. He throws his body on the line. It's really good defending. Good ball from Neto. Sarabia can't control it at the back post.
Seconds remaining of normal time in the first half. The fourth official is preparing the board to let us know what's going to be added on. Graham Scott is the fourth official here at Molineux this afternoon. He's got the board in his hand. He's just waiting now to raise it in 9 seconds from now. Little flick on there by Brewster, won't find a teammate. And then Hwang can't control either as Larouci clears away. Just 2 minutes to be added on for stoppages ahead of half-time. At Molineux, the goal from Pablo Sarabia separating these teams, but Wolves have been completely dominant. Here is Norwood inside the centre circle, passes out to Bogle on the right-hand side, taking on Aït-Nouri, pushes it one side of him, tries to sprint around the other, but it's easily read by Totti Gomez, who comfortably regains possession for Wolves. And here they go again. Aït-Nouri spins around, a pirouette 360 degrees to avoid James McAtee. Then he passes it to Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side. Semedo with the long sleeves and the gloves today. He's the only player on the pitch wearing gloves, Nelson Semedo.
Him and Totti.
Oh, Totti as well,
yeah,
yes.
He's over the other side. But it's a cold one, because I'm going to put my gloves on at half-time.
It is cold.
I am getting my gloves on. I see the producer's got gloves on, so I'm definitely getting my gloves on.
This is Dawson inside the centre circle for Wolves. If anything, Gary O'Neill's halftime team talk will be warning against complacency. Because it has been very comfortable at times. I know he's solid in the crunching tackle against Brewster, but too solid, and he's committed a foul there. Free kick to Sheffield United, who trail by a goal to nil here.
You're always thinking when it's 1-0, you have to, the next goal in the game is important, especially if Sheffield United can go and get it, they can maybe get something. If Wolves get it, then it's game over. So Chris Wilder will say to his team, like, we've been in it, one mistake from Larouci where he switches off, but they've created enough chances to cause Wolves problems.
Norwood's going to take the free kick. Sheffield United have sent all their outfield players up into the Wolves' half. Norwood raising both hands high above his head as the signal. Plays it in, but the clean forehead of Craig Dawson jumps and wins the header and gets it back to the halfway line. Larouci, under pressure from Sarabia, turns and rolls it all the way back to the goalkeeper, Gerbic. His clearance, right-footed, out towards Harmer, easily cut out by Nelson Semedo. Semedo, though, gives it away to Larouci. Just inside his own half. Back behind him is Jack Robinson. And Robinson's clearance is met by the shrill whistle of referee Darren Bond to bring this first half to an end. So, lovely, inviting cross from the left-hand side. Pounced upon by Pablo Sarabia, his third goal in the Premier League this season. Wolves in front, and if any complaint of Gary O'Neill will be that they're not in front by a wider margin, Clinton.
No, yeah, definitely. I think the chances they've missed, but at the same time, Sheffield United have missed a few chances. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I don't know why you're changing shirts at half-time.
No.
Sosa and Gomez, and you're doing it in front of everyone when you're losing the football match. Do it down the tunnel, but don't do it on the pitch. But as I said, listen, it's fair. They can do what they want, but if I'm a Sheffield United player, I'm saying get in and don't do that here. It's not a good look.
No.
So, but yeah, it's been a good first half from Wolves, but Sheffield United are not out of it, but Wolves have been dominant.
No, they're not out of it, and that is the most positive thing that you can say for Sheffield United. How many times this season have we seen the pendulum swing in the second half of a game, and Chris Wilder is going to hope that that could be the case, but they need fresh ideas against a Wolves team who've been enjoying this game, and in truth probably should be more ahead than they are. At the break at Molineux, it is Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0.
Fresh ideas, Clinton Morrison, and maybe some fresh discipline. Teammates squaring up to each other a week after that awful Mason Holgate red card. These things are all linked, aren't they? There's a problem there.
Yeah, there is, but loads of people, when you know, Crossy, when you're frustrated and you're down the bottom of the table and you're conceding goals, you do get frustrated and you end up arguing with your teammates. But it don't look good. I agree with you, it don't look good. And people will come out and say it's passion. Show passion on the pitch by running that extra yard, making that tackle, stay with your runner, or putting the ball in the net. That's passion. But I can understand it happens in the heat of the moment, but nowhere near good enough Sheffield United. The defending is poor for the first goal.
Clinton, Connor, thank you both very much. The Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Second half commentary of that Premier League game will be available on 5 Sports Extra. Here on 5 Live, we'll be focusing on the League Cup final. We're live inside Wembley Stadium. Chelsea versus Liverpool gets underway in 40 minutes' time. There's one match in the Six Nations today as well. France-Italy. Commentary of this one starts on the BBC Sport website. You can listen to it on 5 Sports Extra from 3:30. Claire Thomas is there for us. What's at stake today, Claire?
Plenty, in short, but very different things for each side. A win this afternoon is an absolute non-negotiable for France, who've never lost to Italy on home soil in this competition. They seem to be suffering from a sort of elongated World Cup hangover after that heartbreaking quarter-final exit to South Africa, so they are desperate to rediscover some snarl today whilst keeping their campaign hopes alive and entertaining the 50,000 gathered in Lille. Italy, they're injury-stricken and bedding in a new head coach, so this afternoon is about putting out a respectable performance against one of their bogey teams, with all eyes on their final 2 fixtures against Scotland and Wales, when they are hoping to rid themselves of the wooden spoon they've been saddled with for 8 years now.
Build-up and commentary on the way then to the 2024 League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. We'll bring you the full team news. We'll go through all of the key battles and then we'll bring you full commentary here on 5 Live after the latest news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Steve, thank you. Good afternoon. The Conservative Party is coming under more political pressure after its former Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson was suspended from the Parliamentary Party yesterday. He'd refused to apologise for saying the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was controlled by Islamists. The Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden, declined to call those comments Islamophobic, but said he shared concerns that they could be taken that way. Yemen's Houthi fighters have warned they won't stop their attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea unless Israel ends its assault on Gaza. The group backed by Iran made the comments after a joint US and British military strike against its weapons sites. Police in Staffordshire are searching for a teenage boy who's thought to have got into difficulty at a lake near Leek. 2 other boys aged 17 managed to get out of the water at Rudyard Lake last night. And Donald Trump's remaining rival in the race for the US Republican presidential candidacy, Nikki Haley, has said she will fight on after a defeat in her home state of South Carolina. She congratulated the former president but said her roughly 40% of the vote share was not some tiny group. It's Mr. Trump's 4th consecutive victory in the contest to be the party's candidate for this year's election.
I thought my life was over. That's where the real story begins.
On BBC iPlayer, 3 British men who were charged with drug offences in Dubai say they were tortured in custody.
Dragged out the car, slapped around the face, one of them naughty slaps people go.
A gripping new documentary.
You could get 25 years or a death penalty. Absolutely bricking it.
Hi, surviving a Dubai drugs bust.
Did you worry that people weren't going to forgive you? Say what you want. Say I did it, say I didn't do it.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The EFL Cup Final, live from Wembley with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium as the Chelsea fans in front of us all take their feet and the Chelsea players come sprinting out of the tunnel to begin their warm-up proper. The Liverpool players in their black tops, red shorts and red socks have been out for a good few minutes already, are just going through a few drills, calming some nerves perhaps. A lot of young players involved in this 2024 League Cup final. We'll go through it all, but we're going to start with the managers because Chelsea versus Liverpool means Pochettino versus Klopp, and they have history.
And there goes the final whistle as Jurgen Klopp shakes hands with the beaten Mauricio Pochettino.
Nobody can replace Jurgen Klopp. No? They don't have to replace Jurgen. They have to find a good manager, no? Because nobody will replace Jurgen.
Liverpool are acclaimed in Madrid as the 6 times European champions. But for the first time, it is silverware under the management of Jurgen Klopp.
This club, especially with the team we have, needs a manager at its top game, at its top level.
It means a lot for us, like a coaching staff, to have the possibility to arrive on the final and to challenge a team like Liverpool.
Tottenham have sacked manager Mauricio Pochettino and his coaching team after 5 years in charge.
The day has finally come. The great red drought has come to an end. And after 30 long years, Liverpool are the champions again.
I'm so excited to come back to the Premier League.
Mauricio Pochettino emerges from the tunnel, the former Tottenham man. This is his first match in charge. Jurgen Klopp was standing there waiting for him at the top of the tunnel, and they embraced together.
Jurgen Klopp says Liverpool are reloaded, Chelsea under Pochettino rebooted.
Nunez's cross, and it's in from Diaz. Slides it in for 4-1. Luis Diaz putting down a marker ahead of the Carabao Cup final in just over 3 weeks' time.
Either it will be the first trophy of the final season for Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, or the first for Chelsea under Todd Boehly, and the first in English football for Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea versus Liverpool in the League Cup final, and Ian Dennis has the teams.
Well, Chelsea are unchanged from the side that played Manchester City. There is no Thiago Silva. Petrovic is in goal. Gusto, Disasi, Colwell and Chilwell. Caicedo, Fernandes and Gallagher. Palmer, Sterling against his old club, and Nicholas Jackson. And everyone will know about the well-documented Liverpool problems on the injury front, and as a result there is no Nunez, there is no Salah. They're not even involved, they're not even on the bench. Kelleher, even had Alisson not been injured, would have started this League Cup final. The defence is Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. They make 2 changes, Konate for Kwanzaa and Robertson for Gomez from the team that played against Luton in midweek. Gravenberg, Endo and McAllister in the midfield. Elliott, Gakpo and Luis Diaz are the front 3.
So we have Ian Dennis, correspondent John Murray, Alan Shearer, who've been with us this afternoon on 5 Live Sport, and we've got a special guest as well, former Sheffield United manager, took them up to the Premier League last season, of course, Paul Heckingbottom. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, nice to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you, and it's great because we could get lots of manager perspectives. The first one is, if you were Jurgen Klopp, how do you deal with no Salah, no Nunez, no Szoboszlai? An easy one to start.
Yeah, listen, an easy one to start, but they've done it in recent times. You know, the form's fantastic. They've been filling the gaps with the younger players and the rest of the squad. So those players who are stepping in to fill those big shoes, it's a huge opportunity for them today, and they won't approach the game any different despite which players are on the pitch. You know, they've got a real set way of playing, try and control all elements of the game, and they're very good when the game gets chaotic as well. So yeah, the expectation won't be different even though those players are missing.
There's a temptation, Alan, to think, you know, will they have left it until the very, very last minute? Do you think they'll have known and they'll have been prepared for this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when both teams walked around Wembley this morning, there was no Salah or no Nunez, so they would have known for a couple of days and they would have planned for it. But I think such is Jurgen's personality and such is the size of the football club, and how many debuts, how many chances he sort of give to players and to younger players, that doesn't faze him. I mean, I did the Liverpool Arsenal game when Bradley came on, Bobby Clark came on. I mean, that was such a critical time of the game as well, you know. So for him to have the belief at that stage of the game when you're under huge pressure shows the belief that he's got in some of these youngsters, and he might have to call on a few of them again this afternoon. And that's the big thing for me in terms of when you look at Liverpool over the years, that a lot of the time Jurgen has used substitutes, whereas today you look at that substitute bench, and although he won't be afraid, but it's certainly not as strong as it has been over the years.
It also gives you belief if you're the opposition manager, presumably, as well, Paul. If you're Maurizio Pochettino, you know, you look at your own team, of course you do. But equally, he'll have known, like we knew, that there was a chance that these players are going to be absent, and obviously he's going to be delighted that they are. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, regardless, it's all about Chelsea. They'll have prepared the same way. However, if you're one of Chelsea's back four, looking at the likes of Diaz and Salah, not in the starting 11, they are going to lick the lips and be thinking that it is a better opportunity for them.
We talked about so many of the players over the course of the first few hours of the show, Alan, but I really wanted us to get in and focus now on Cole Palmer, because he kind of spreads the course here, and that we talked about the importance of the experienced players and these youngsters as well. He is one of the most important players, despite the fact he's one of the younger players.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown great character, and you know, I think as a top footballer, you have to have a little bit of arrogance in a good way, and I'm not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form to him, but I like his arrogance that he's got. I like that he's got great belief in himself. I like that he was probably told that if he had stayed, then he wouldn't have played as much, so he said no. And you've got to respect that. You've got to say, well done for getting out and say, I want to get out and play and I want to make a name for myself at a huge football club, albeit, and it hasn't fazed him at all. And he's probably the most important player now at Chelsea, and he's having an unbelievable season.
I wonder, Paul, if exactly that part of Cole Palmer's personality, if he does have that little bit of arrogance about him, that might be both the reason, or part of the reason, that Manchester City were willing to let him go, and also part of the reason Chelsea were desperate to have him.
Yes, both. But also, when you're a young lad coming through and it's your football club, you've come all the way through the ranks. There's maybe a perception that he is still a young boy at Manchester City. He is down the pecking order, a bit behind the world-class stars that they've got. Take him out of that environment, put him a big transfer fee, gone to another big club, but all of a sudden he's not one of the young players who's come through. There's a different expectation, and with that comes a different mentality, and he's bringing the best out of him.
Do you think, Alan, the fact that you go back to the FA Cup final last season, the Manchester derby, Cole Palmer was in that squad, but he was on that bench, and he's had a couple of experiences at Wembley, Community Shield, that kind of thing. But having tasted the FA Cup final, even amongst the substitutes, will that give him a bit more preparation to start in a big Wembley Cup final this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. But I honestly don't think that will faze him at all, looking at him and what he's achieved, and look at him strut around in a good way, as if to say, you know what, I actually belong here, I belong at this level. And they're the players that you want in your team, because there'll have to be a time today, at some time, that Chelsea will suffer in terms of possession or whatever it is. But then you're still looking, although he's not an old player, you're still looking to your best players to say, okay, let's hang on here, still give me the ball, I'll take the little bit of pressure off us. And he's a guy that can do that.
Listeners on 5 Sports Extra, you're now going to go to second half commentary of Wolves against Sheffield United. So you now will be joining Clinton Morrison and Conor McNamara. Here on 5 Live, we're going to continue the build-up to the League Cup final. We've got 30 minutes until kick-off. John Murray, Ian Dennis, Alan Shearer, Paul Heckingbottom all with us on 5 Live Sport. Right, let's hear from the first of the managers then, shall we? Maurizio Pochettino, Chelsea, much improved form. Played really well at the Etihad in the Premier League last week. He's been speaking to John Southall about what's happened since they were hammered 4-1 at Anfield at the end of last month. He says there's been a noticeable change.
I still know his first game. Derby away, nobody watching. On a pitch, not.
I think for me it's not about to change. Of course, the transformation of the team, and when you compete in a different way, it's about, to be more mature and to be, this type of process. You need that this type of thing happen, and to really, wake up about the situation. I don't know if you wake up, but realize when you experience some moment, you have the possibility to be different and to behave different. But maybe that was good for us to feel the pain, negative situation against us, and to be, stronger now, and to find the way to compete better, and to start to see that we need to live in a different way. The spirit of the team. You can see that now the team, when it's on the pitch before the start of the game, they are all together. The communication is much better, but always that need to be natural.
Maurizio Pochettino with John Southall. He's talking, Paul, about the team waking up to the mentality. Malo Gusto spoke about exactly the same thing the other day. When you look at this Chelsea team, do you think they have woken up, as the manager says, in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think we've been here before. I think a lot of people said that, which proved to be a false dawn, and they had a few poor results, but yeah, they seem to be settled again, picking a more consistent team. I think the word that mentality phrase is really important. It's a fresh team, off the pitch, on the pitch, the management, and that's why I think it's just such an important game for Chelsea Football Club. Pochettino, for the players, for the fans to believe in the new ownership, for the new ownership to get off to a good start, because it feels like a brand new football club, but they've got a huge game in front of them today, which is a big opportunity to get things rolling.
Let's face it, Alan, they could still easily just be a group of incredibly talented players who are so talented that sometimes they will be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm yet to be convinced that there's still a work in progress, but they are getting better. They're on a bit of a good run. That has to continue, because we know what a football club it is, and the money that has been spent, they have to get success, and this could be the first part of that again, where they start and kick on. And I mean, let's be honest, from a Chelsea point of view and Pochettino point of view, when you look at that team sheet, there's not going to be a better time to play Liverpool. When you look at Salah out, and all of those players, Nunez out, Jota out, Trent out, Alisson out, Szoboszlai out. I mean, from their point of view, that should give them an incredible boost of confidence, and from their point of view, I really hope that they go for it today, because they've got an incredible opportunity with all those players out.
I'm just looking down at the pitch here, and we're lucky enough to, of course, have an absolutely glorious view of Wembley Stadium, with the Liverpool fans and their banners waving across to the left-hand side, and the Chelsea supporters just over to the right. More Liverpool fans in than Chelsea for the moment, and if I look down on the pitch, I can see something that you don't often see, and that's the Liverpool manager not looking at the opposition. I can see him from a distance, but Maz Faruqi, you got a close-up pitch side.
Yeah, and a big smile on Jurgen Klopp's face, Steve, as he followed his players out into the pitch here at Wembley for Liverpool's warm-up. He's standing in that usual Klopp stance with the spider cam hovering above him, his hands in his pockets, in that big back coat, his cap on his head. He is watching his players at the moment. A couple of minutes ago, he was watching the Chelsea warm-up very closely. He seems in a relaxed mood. Kelleher, obviously in goal for Liverpool today, just warming up in front of the Liverpool end. They're really singing a lot now,
the atmosphere really building as he warms up for this League Cup final. But Maurizio Pochettino seems in a very relaxed mood as well. He practically bounded down the tunnel after his pre-match media commitments with our TV colleagues. So both managers seeming in a good frame of mind at the moment, at least. If they are feeling the pressure, not showing it quite yet.
The pressure thing is a really interesting aspect today, I think, Paul, because Chelsea are the underdogs for the final. They've got to be the underdogs for the final, despite that Liverpool team news. But there is still a lot of pressure on Pochettino because they need to jumpstart this whole project.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's pressure on them, but I just really hope, Alan said, that they attack the game. It's a huge, huge opportunity. How many successful spells have we seen, whether it's been Liverpool, whether it's been United, City, Chelsea, where this competition's been something that's really set the club going, whether it's been for a manager and their reign, a club beginning their quest for trophies. So I really think, really hope that they seize this opportunity and make sure that they don't leave anything for chance. They're going to attack the game and treat it as that, a big, big, big opportunity to start the ball rolling and get some trophies.
Well, if they do that, the Liverpool goalkeeper that they'll be trying to pepper with shots, of course, is Quiveen Kelleher, who didn't just play when these two teams met in the cup final here 2 years ago. He scored the crucial penalty in the shootout. Kepa missed, and Liverpool won the League Cup. Here's their assistant manager, Pep Lijnders, on his rise.
I still know his first game. Derby away. Nobody watching. On a pitch, not the main pitch, no, they put us on like the sixth pitch or something with the white fence. I still know, save a penalty there, and you saw a boy, 15 years old, not an easy situation, and have his trial game, and with his feet already impressive. I think he played, I'm not sure, but I think he played on the pitch for many years until he became goalie. So, yeah, we all know about his strengths. I'm really pleased for him, what's happening, and it's for a club as Liverpool, you need two good goalkeepers, and really happy that we have. And it's really special and a compliment for John, for Jack, for Tafa, for the guys at the academy, because we produce some good goalkeepers already, but Queeve is probably the most outstanding one, who is most complete. He can make match-winning saves, he sees the game, knows how to act as the free player, knows when to play with direction, and his calmness and his serenity create as well calmness for all the others. And especially how we want to play, if you want to manage the ball from the back, it's really important to have a goalkeeper like that.
Important to have a good goalkeeper, obviously, Alan, as Pep Lijnders says, but is Quiveen Kelleher just a good keeper or a great keeper? Because that's what you have to be for Liverpool.
Well, he's not a great goalkeeper yet. Their great goalkeeper is Alisson. There's no doubt about it that he's one of, if not the best in the Premier League. But he's a really good understudy, and that's why Klopp has the belief in him. And you said it before, that even if Alisson was fit, then he still would have been playing, and I think that tells you what Jurgen thinks of him.
Applause in the background because the Chelsea and Liverpool players are both making their way off the pitch now at the end of their warm-up. The Liverpool goalkeepers, including Quiveen Kelleher, away to the left-hand side. On the right, it's Jurgen Petrovic, the young goalkeeper for Chelsea, signed for £14 million from Major League Soccer. The irony, Paul, if Chelsea have spent hundreds of millions, pretty much £1 billion on players, it could well be that one of the best signings is a keeper they picked up for £14 million.
Yeah, exactly. He's certainly seizing his chance at the minute. He's got in there off the back of an injury, and his form's been pretty good. It's coincided with the team picking up results, so he's in on merit at the minute, and he'll be wanting to seize this opportunity and stay in the team. But as you say, with the millions and millions of pounds that's been spent, relatively cheap transfer for Chelsea, and it could be one that proves really, really valuable this season.
What would you say to him? Young goalkeeper like that, never played in a game like this, ahead of the biggest game in his young career.
Yeah, listen, I think the goalkeeper coach will have been working really closely with him, preparing him for this, preparing him for the occasion. Listen, it is just a game of football, but it's the occasion that is different, and I think that is something that you've got to be aware of. But he needs to play his normal game. I think what helps him is there's no changes in front of him. It's a pretty set team now for the last few weeks. So all that is familiar. The only difference is it's a cup final.
I want to talk about managerial mind games. Paul, Maurizio Pochettino ahead of the game has asked the officials not to take the fact that it's Jurgen Klopp's last season into account. You lot love to plant a little seed like that, don't you?
Yeah, I like that. Listen, You've asked me about officials on purpose, haven't you?
No,
no. Right. I'll still be careful what I say, but no, it's mind games. It is that there will be some big calls, and the way VAR has been working this season, it is backing up the officials on the pitch. You know, we are getting down the line now, unless it's a clear and obvious error, it won't be overturned. So we are relying, and rightly so, for the officials to do the jobs on the pitch. So I think that is a little reminder, a cheeky little reminder from Maurizio.
Paul, where do you think where's the line with that when you talk about the officials? Because I would have thought, as managers, the powers that be will make it very clear to you what you can say and what you can't say. And how close is what he said to being on or over the line?
No, I think the fact he's said it before anything's happened helps him. I think the fact it is a relevant thing he's saying. Yeah, but it will have been noted, and I'm sure if there is any sort of follow-up after a game, he'll certainly be disciplined. But I think it's just something a little reminder. We hear managers a lot talk about, if you're playing against a physical team, you know, I hope the referee's strong before we play this game, we're going to need a strong referee. I think it's just something to really focus the attention of the officials on something that could be important in the game.
He'll get his knuckles wrapped for that though, won't he, Alan?
Really?
I don't think so. It's not that bad, is it?
It wasn't that bad.
Well, is it not like what Erik ten Hag said this time last year, saying, they've got to be aware of the amount of time the ball is out of play when Newcastle are playing?
Yeah, and Fergie was the king of that, wasn't he? It was every Friday morning he used to send a little message out in his press conference to the referees.
Yeah, and when he retired, they then clamped down on it because he was out of the way.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if he was. However,
really, I don't.
However, if he is, I don't think he'll not lose any sleep, will he? Because he said what he wants to say.
Not if they win the game and the decision goes his way, then it's been worth it.
Do you think, Paul, it can actually have an impact? Because big games, big managers, the biggest managers in the business do it and try it and just drop that little line in. They wouldn't do it if they didn't think it would work.
There's a human element to anybody's job on the pitch, whether you're player, but certainly the officials, and just planting a little seed in someone's head, it puts the focus back onto that. So yeah, there's an intention behind what Maurizio said, without a doubt. It may not come to fruition, but he'll certainly be wanting the referees to make sure there's no emotion, no sentiment towards Jurgen and what is his final season at Liverpool.
I wonder how much emotion there will be for Jurgen Klopp, Alan. I was at Anfield the first game after he announced he was leaving, and you could tell that it got to him. This is a huge day for him. Maybe they'll have more cup finals this season. There's every chance that they will, but this is the opportunity today.
Well, this is the first, I think, of maybe two or three. I don't think they'll get all of them that they want, but certainly in terms of they're right up there, the top of the league. They're in this final. They've got a great chance in Europe as well. So he'll want, his players will want, and the fans will react to every single game from now until the end of the season for him, and rightly so, because he's what he's done for that great football club.
When they were out there warming up, the eyes are naturally drawn to him because of this, and ever since he came to this country, the very first time, I mean, Paul, you must have had it when you've been up against him and he stands on the halfway line looking at your players. That's been consistent, hasn't it? That's what he does, but he cannot be human if he wasn't standing out there thinking that this might be the last time that I'm in this place managing Liverpool on a day like this.
Yeah, definitely. And listen, I don't think it's it's certainly by choice that he made the announcement when he made it, and I certainly think that they're trying to use it to their advantage for this season. The emotion, it's no coincidence to me that the week after he called on Anfield to become more vociferous and more vocal in the support for the team, that he comes out and announces that he's leaving. So I think there's a big intention behind it, and from that point on, you've got to say it's been working. So yeah, it's certainly a tactic. We're on about what Maurizio's used, trying to use a tactic. Jurgen, a master of emotion and trying to create intensity, he's tried to do that with the fan base, and so far he's been proved right.
Yeah, he's planting a seed, Alan, but in a different place, isn't it? With the crowd, with the fans.
Football, the psychology in football is a huge part of the game. Whether you're trying to get a word out to the referee, whether you're trying to get words out to your fans, whether you've got a mother or father, someone through a game or through a week because they're having problems. You're basically a parent to 25 or 30 people, as well as looking after millions and millions of your fan base. So you're always trying to gain a tiny little advantage, or you've always got to look after your player or get that message out somehow. And psychology in football and in sport is massive, no different in football.
That's why I think today is so important for them, because this is the first one, and we all know what the reaction will be and what people will say if they don't win this one. And they've now got Manchester City right down their necks, 1 point behind them in the Premier League. And yes, obviously in the Europa League, I think they've got a kind draw there for Liverpool against Sparta Prague, and they've got a home match against Southampton in the FA Cup. There's still, a route to go down there. If this goes against them today, you know what Liverpool fans are like as well. There'll be jitters.
Remember, Wolves versus Sheffield United. You can listen to that now if you want over on 5 Sports Extra. Let's get the latest from Molyneux. Rob Schofield.
Yeah, 58 minutes gone, Steve. Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Home side come out a little bit sloppy here, and Sheffield United seeing quite a lot of the ball as they come on the break here. James McAtee picking up a dangerous position, charging upfield. It's been still Pablo Sarabia's goal that's the difference. The ball comes into Ryan Brewster at the far post, still without a Premier League goal, and that run continues. Jose Sarr takes the ball and clears it for the home side. It's still Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0.
Paul Heckingbottom, Ian Dennis, Alan Shearer, John Murray, all with us here inside Wembley Stadium. Out on the pitch, some of the volunteers have just started to pick up the big, long flags that they will unveil on the Wembley Stadium pitch very shortly. The DJ booth opposite us that Pat Nevin was telling us what kind of music he would play before the cup final is away to the far side, and they're striking up the band as well. We've got just under 15 minutes to go until kick-off in the League Cup final. Chelsea versus Liverpool. So let's zone in on one or two of the key battles. One of the big storylines, I suppose, Alan, today could be Moises Caicedo, the man who turned down Liverpool to go to Chelsea. Hasn't, like the rest of his teammates, had the best start, but what an opportunity today.
Yeah, and he's against one of his old teammates in there as well, in McAllister. For whatever reason, he chose to go to the blue of Chelsea. As you said, it hasn't quite worked out for them, but there's a few players you can actually say that against in that Chelsea team. They haven't looked as comfortable as we thought they might do it. As we said earlier, it's a work in progress. So those two in the midfield, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, will have a huge part to play today. Even though Liverpool are missing some of their big hitters up front, they've still got enough ability to cause problems.
I wonder, Paul, if that might be one of the big differences at the moment between Liverpool and Chelsea. They both have Argentinian World Cup winners in their starting 11s who played together in Qatar. Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, Alexis McAllister for Liverpool. McAllister seems to have been such a natural fit at Liverpool. Started playing deeper, then moved more advanced. It all makes sense. Enzo Fernandez is a fantastic player, but has he really found his feet yet?
No, I don't think so, but also McAllister's come into a system which is well drilled, really clear how Jurgen wants to play. He's come into something that's established, something that's already running and working really well. Chelsea are brand new. We keep alluding to the fact on the pitch, off the pitch. So Enzo's not coming into something that is already clearly defined. He's got to make that position his own, along with all the other new players that they've signed. So I think that's the big difference, and that's why you probably do see little differences in the performance levels.
I wonder, Alan, if Jurgen Klopp knew when he missed out on Caicedo that he'd end up getting Endo and he would have the impact that he has had, whether he would have said, OK, let's make that happen.
Well, what was that phrase? You better be a lucky manager than a good manager.
Right.
Sometimes that's the way it works, isn't it? You've got to have a little bit of luck, whoever you are, whether you're a player, manager, coach, whatever work you're in, you've got to have a little bit of luck now and again. Without it, you won't be as successful.
Great scenes here now inside Wembley Stadium with all the flags just waved out in front of us. The teams will be with us very, very shortly inside England's National Stadium. There is a big circular Liverpool banner which is now being just thrown up and down in the air away to our left-hand side, and the same for Chelsea fans as the scarves wave and big red and blue carpets are lined up either side of the halfway line. The Allez, Allez, Allez song booming out at the speakers for the Liverpool supporters. I imagine it'll be something like Blue Day for Chelsea shortly. If it is going to be a blue day, Paul Heckingbottom, how much is on Nicholas Jackson, who we heard from earlier?
Yeah, definitely. He's had an up and down start, getting chances but missing chances. the service team's going to be really important. So we spoke about the midfield playing behind Sterling off one side against Bradley, and Cole Palmer drifting in and picking up little positions to try and create these chances for him. But if he does get the opportunities today, I don't think he's going to get too many, so he's going to need to be clinical. And again, if Chelsea do get the lead, I think the game becomes a little bit easier for them in terms of, we know Liverpool, aren't we, sit back, it's a cup final, and there may be more space then for Jackson to exploit.
10 minutes to kick off then. Come on, Alan. We said that the team news for Liverpool might influence how everybody felt about the final. So how do you feel about the final?
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see a lot of goals in it, Steve. I think it could be a very long afternoon, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if again this fixture went to penalties.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a result. I'm hoping we see a Chelsea team that comes out and performs the way it did against Manchester City, for example, especially in that 4-4 game. And if they do that, then I hope they go on and win it.
What an occasion as well it's going to be for young Conor Bradley, who was just steamed into this Liverpool team, Alan. It's been an unbelievably quick rise for him, hasn't it? And it seems ridiculous to say they're not missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, but they sort of aren't.
I know. I was at the Emirates, I think it was, when him and Bobby Clark came on that afternoon. And as I said earlier about the belief that Jurgen had in them to put them into that situation, and as both of them did really well, but Conor was the standout. I mean, he was up against it straight away. He didn't phase away from shy away from anything, and he looked really, really comfortable in that position. And he has done it every time he's played since. So I would have no worries about him this afternoon.
And that is the side of this fixture which I think is always fascinating as well, Paul, is that you can have these young players coming through the system who can make a huge difference. Conor Gallagher is that for Chelsea, and he's a player who, if you believe what you hear, they could have ended up selling not so long ago as well.
Exactly, yeah, and similar to Bradley at Liverpool, they both cut the teeth out on loan, got a lot of games and a lot of first-team experience using the loan market. Gallagher's come back now, established himself. His energy and his work rate is something that really does rub off on this Chelsea team, and he's going to be a big player for them today.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Chelsea's injury list as well has been really lengthy this season, so they've got a couple of teenagers, Jimmy Tauriainen and Billy G, who've never been on the bench for Chelsea before for a first-team match, and here they are on the bench for a cup final. And on the Liverpool side, how old does it make you feel when son of Lee and son of Jason, Bobby Clark and Lee Kumas, are suddenly on the bench and professional footballers?
You have to spoil a good day, don't you?
I don't know.
that made me feel old. I'm only 38.
You've also got Jayden Dance. He's the son of Neil.
Is that all you are, Steve? 38?
Yeah. Sorry, Alan. The hardest. It really was. All the players now are making their way out onto the pitch here at Wembley Stadium for the 2024 League Cup final. Actually, Ian, whilst I've got you just for a second now as well, we're about to watch the presentation party come out, which will include the EFL chairman Rick Parry walking down the line of these two huge Premier League clubs, with a massive meeting coming up next week when it comes to the amount of money that is given to the Football League. So, he's got a big job on at the minute as well.
Yes, he certainly has. I mean, I think the most important thing for today, though, he'll just want to, as a former Liverpool chief executive, he'll just want to enjoy the day. I think this is in the past it's been a much maligned competition. But what the beauty of this is that they say it's the people's final, because you get a greater allocation than you do for the FA Cup final for the two sets of supporters. So what a spectacle now we have, with the royal blue of Chelsea away towards our right, with a huge banner that has just been unfurled from the top tier. We are the famous, and I presume it continues on the other side of the screen, away towards our right, and then the Liverpool flags, the red and white, towards the left. And a lovely rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone from the Liverpool supporters earlier.
Rick Parry and the rest of the delegation are just making their way down the line of Liverpool players, and now he shakes hands with the Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino. Virgil van Dijk has just taken the presentation party down his side of the field as well, so we are almost all ready to go. The band that's been striking up loud is walking away off the pitch at Wembley Stadium, away to the right-hand side, and this place is absolutely jam-packed for the latest leg in Jurgen Klopp's farewell tour. It's reached a sold-out Wembley. It has to happen at some point, but Mauricio Pochettino, well, it feels like he's changed the record at Chelsea, but it only feels like that. We will find out over the course of the next few months. Maurizio Pochettino rubbing his hands together, maybe with excitement at the Liverpool lineup, maybe with nerves. It's an absolutely huge day for the Chelsea manager and his team, and so too for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. The final of the League Cup here, live on 5 Live, will follow the national anthem. Sung but also signed as well in British Sign Language this afternoon at Wembley Stadium. Incredibly important at any time, but especially this year in the 100th anniversary year of the Deaf Olympics, which get underway next week in Turkey. So we're ready then for the League Cup final on 5 Live with Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer, correspondent John Murray, and first Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Steve. Well, the first domestic trophy of 2024 will be settled, and it is the most played fixture in domestic finals. They've met 4 times previously, 2 in the FA Cup and 2 in the League Cup, 2 wins apiece, but it's the first ever fixture to be played in 5 domestic finals. And if you haven't heard the team news, then this is it. Chelsea are unchanged from the side that played against Manchester City. There is no Thiago Silva. They have Petrovic in goal. Gusto Disasi, who's played in every one of the previous 6 League Cup ties for Chelsea this season. Colwill and Chilwell, the captain. Caicedo, Fernandes and Gallagher. Raheem Sterling against his former club. Cole Palmer, who of course has already scored here at Wembley Stadium this season in the Community Shield for Manchester City against Arsenal, and Nicholas Jackson. And for Liverpool, well, all sorts of injury problems. There's no Alisson, of course, although Kelleher would have always started this League Cup tie. And Nunez and Salah not even on the bench, and neither is Szoboszlai. So Kelleher is in goal. Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robinson, Gravenberch, Endo and McAllister, Elliott, Gakpo and Luis Diaz. And Alan, if we get a similar game to what we had 2 years ago, although it was finished goalless and it went to an epic penalty shootout, it was a great game of football. We're in for a treat.
Yeah, I know it's easy to say that to start a game, and any game of football is really important. But I think for Chelsea, when the team sheets went in, I think there would have been an extra spring in their step to say, you know what, they have to start this game as if they mean business, as if they're up for it, to try and get their confidence up and a belief that they can go on and win this cup.
And a special moment for Virgil van Dijk, captaining Liverpool in this final. Of course, it's always been Jordan Henderson's honour to do such a thing. But as Virgil van Dijk, leading Liverpool out for the first time in this final, just exchanges the pennant with Ben Chilwell, his Chelsea counterpart, and has a word with the match officials. Of course, there's VAR for the final. There was no VAR previously in this League Cup competition. It wasn't used because of fairness and consistency in the semi-finals at the Riverside, Craven Cottage, Stamford Bridge, or indeed in Anfield. So Chris Kavanagh is the match official, Tim Robinson is the 4th official, and John Brooks is on VAR duty. And now the 2 sides are just forming their huddles. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks, away towards our right. Liverpool all in red, and some atmosphere, Paul Heckingbottom.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. Say the first cup final of the season, important to both teams, but for certainly different reasons. But the fans have come here, they've filled the stadium out, and both sets of supporters making a lot of noise.
Liverpool's last 3 League Cup finals have all been settled by a shootout. Cardiff in 2012. Also, they lost to Manchester City in 2016 and then beat Chelsea 2 years ago. Will we go the whole hog? If they do, then that inexperienced bench for Liverpool could certainly be a factor, because in terms of a lack of offensive options, they are limited for Jurgen Klopp. let's not forget, for this long goodbye for the former Liverpool manager, still has the chance to win a quadruple. We're underway. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right as we look. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and also on BBC Sounds with the second half of Wolves Sheffield United on Sports Extra. And Chilwell already forward, looking for Raheem Sterling, but cut out by Conor Bradley, the Northern Ireland international, who is no stranger to Wembley. Last season during his loan spell at Bolton, he was part of the Bolton team that beat Plymouth here in the EFL Trophy by 4 goals to 0. I doubt it will be as one-sided as this game here today. A tight encounter is expected.
Well, we mentioned young Conor Bradley before the game, and he had his first little test there, even after 30 seconds, when Raheem Sterling made that run just down the Chelsea left-hand side, but he read it really well and intercepted the ball and won it back for Liverpool.
Liverpool making those 2 changes from the midweek game against Luton. Canate, who's taken the free kick, coming in for Quansah. Robertson for Gomez at left back. Bradley holding on to his place at right back. Chelsea unchanged. Raheem Sterling, of course, against his former club. His first of his 4 League Cup successes with Manchester City was indeed against Liverpool, as Robertson prods the ball to McAllister, and a triangular passing pattern for Liverpool, and it's out towards that far side, and Robertson makes good ground on that far side on the left, and he's now level with the penalty area. Plays the ball back, now it's in with Endo, the Japanese international. Every outfield player is indeed in the Chelsea half, away towards our right-hand side. We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service as well. You've been listening to Daleth and Stewart in the build-up to this League Cup final, the 64th League Cup final and the 51st to be played here at Wembley, and it's 0-0 in these opening minutes as Endo slides it forward, but stopped by Caicedo and passes the ball back to Levi Colwill. Mentioned before about Conor Bradley's previous experience at Wembley. Levi Colwill, England international, a playoff runner-up with Huddersfield Town when indeed he scored the own goal against Nottingham Forest, and that was an opportunity to get into the top flight. This is about the first bit of silverware for this 2024 season, and Liverpool looking to try and add to the tally for Jurgen Klopp for the 7 different trophies that he's won during his successful time as Liverpool's manager. Maurizio Pochettino hoping it's a case of third time lucky. Enzo Fernandez tried to sweep an early ball forward, looking for that run of Nicholas Jackson. Well, they did very well against City last week.
That's certainly not a bad idea, because Nicholas Jackson was on his way there, and he just needed a little bit more height on that ball, and he was in. But Virgil van Dijk read it really, really well.
Virgil van Dijk and Canate at the heart of that Liverpool defence. The options on the bench, though, very, very limited when it comes to experience. Probably only Joe Gomez and Tsimikas as the outfield players. You're looking down at a hat full of youngsters. Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Luis Comas, Jaden Downs, Gerald Quansah, and the 16-year-old Trey Bignoni. And as for Chelsea, they have a couple of youngsters on the bench for the first time this season in a Finnish youth international in Taurainen. They also have a BG on the bench as well, Billy G.
Stop it.
I wonder who will win a game here at Wembley today.
Oh, you're going to be funny.
You like that one, do you? It's a throw over on that far side for Chelsea, 0-0. Enzo Fernandez back to Gusto. Ball chipped long by Disase, looking for the run of Jackson, headed away by Van Dijk. Endo lets it settle midway through his own half and will win a throw. I mean, Paul, at this stage, there's nothing to separate between the two teams in his opening 4 minutes.
Nothing at all. We knew it would be tight in midfield. That's going to be a really interesting battle, though. The matchup of the 3v3 there. Looking quickly as well, Chelsea's fullbacks could be big when they win the ball back with how narrow Liverpool's front 3 get when they're attacking.
0-0 in the early stages from the Liverpool throw. Disasi's forward ball. Fernandez will play it back. Colwill midway through his own half will go all the way back to Jimmy Petrovic. Only his 17th appearance. Colwill does well to come in between 2 Liverpool players. But then there's a high press from Liverpool. Colwill snaps into the challenge and caught McAllister and will give away a free kick. Referee Chris Kavanagh gives that. Couldn't let the play continue, but gives the free kick to Liverpool.
I think he'll be really lucky if he gets away with not getting a yellow card there, you know. He'd lost the ball and McAllister had read it really well and he'd lunged at him. think McAllister is going to be okay. Comes through the back of him and actually takes him out. Any other time of the game, if that's not the first 5 minutes, that gets a yellow card.
Yeah. Must have been a degree of concern as well on the Liverpool bench, given that the injury problems that have mounted up in recent weeks. There'll be Jurgen Klopp will be relieved to see McAllister get back to his feet, and in fact he's the man standing over this free kick on this near side to right. Liverpool playing from left to right, about 10 yards in from the right touchline. Robertson is also there if he wants to swing it in left-footed, otherwise it'll be McAllister right-footed. They're attacking the west end of Wembley Stadium where the Chelsea fans are housed in their royal blue. But it's the Liverpool fans who are making the noise. 0-0, 6 minutes played. Liverpool free kick on the right. It will be McAllister, right-footed. It's an outswinger. And headed away, and surely Jackson will clear. No, he's been caught in possession by McAllister, who backheels the ball, and Jackson then plays it to Fernandes. And that goes only as far as Robertson on the right-hand side. Endo checked by Caicedo, and another direct free kick for Liverpool.
Yes, and it's, what is it, another about 20, 25 yards out. It's another opportunity to either have a popping goal or certainly put a ball into the middle like they tried to do there before, which Chelsea defended very, very well.
A little bit further in field, just over 25 yards out from goal, but it's the two contenders to take this free kick once again. Last time it was McAllister. Robertson offers the option with the left foot here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and Chelsea have every player back in the royal blue shirts and shorts just on the edge of their penalty area. That's got three in the wall. Petrovic all in yellow has got three in the wall in Palmer, Jackson and Sterling. McAllister or Robertson. It's McAllister again who curls it in, right up. Donate will retrieve it on that far side, but the referee said there was a handball in there, and that will be a free kick. There was no variation there.
No, it was two free kicks, very, very similar, weren't they, from McAllister? Just tried to whip both balls in, but Chelsea handled them both really well.
Ball given away by Petrovic, straight to Elliott, ball in field, there was Caicedo to break it up, now towards Gallagher, early ball from Gallagher, asking Sterling to give chase. Donate with a back pass to Kelleher, all in green, out of his penalty area right hand side, clears long, headed back by Chilwell on the halfway line, repelled by the header of Endo. Bradley's early ball finds Elliott, but Fernandes just got a foot into the challenge to take it away from Harvey Elliott.
I think that's certainly one of the things that Chelsea will be looking to do on the turnover when they win the ball, with the pace that they've got with Sterling and Jackson, and with Gallagher as well reading it well. You can see straight away that one of their ideas was to get it over the top and try and use that and utilise that pace.
Jurgen Klopp's just called McAllister across towards him, just giving him some instructions as Bradley looks to take the throw. Luis Diaz comes into an area on this right hand side. Elliott now will switch play out towards that far side to left. Robertson running forward, sends over the cross. Diaz with the header, it's looping, and it required Petrovic just to bring it out of the air with his right hand.
It's a good ball in from Robertson, and Diaz read it really well, but it just had a little bit too much height on it, and he couldn't get the power that was needed to guide it. He sort of had to loop it in the air, which then gave the goalkeeper time to set himself and go and collect it.
Certainly been a good 5 minutes for Liverpool, who are just starting to see a lot of the ball here in these early stages of this League Cup final on BBC Radio 5 Live. 9 minutes played, Bradley over the halfway line, just passes the ball back to Konate. It's a competition, and when you look back at Jurgen Klopp's legacy, he really has blooded a number of youngsters. I remember doing a commentary for 5 Live in 2019. Kelleher made his debut at MK Dons. Indeed, Elliott made his debut in that particular game as well. And he's used 96 different players during his time as Liverpool manager in this competition for what will be his final time in the League Cup. And he's hoping to win it for a second time, to move alongside Gerard Houllier and Bob Paisley, of course, won it 3 times during that successful period for Liverpool in the 80s. But he's blooded a number of youngsters. Conor Bradley, of course, is another one in more recent years as the ball is played out towards that left-hand side. The ball put out of play by Caicedo for a Liverpool throw.
He's got to do that. I've just been watching him in the first 8 or 9 minutes, Caicedo, and that's part of his job, just to give that back four of his that little bit of shield, that little bit of protection. And on that occasion did it really well, read it well, cleared the danger.
10 minutes played, it remains 0-0. What are your initial thoughts then of the first 10 minutes, Paul?
The big difference for me has been Liverpool being much more aggressive without the ball, and it's resulted in most of the game being played in Chelsea's half. At the minute they're dropping on all these types of balls really quickly, being much more aggressive and taking more risks.
Former Sheffield United manager Paul Heckingbottom, Alan Shearer with us as well here on 5 Live. Endo does well, up against the ball towards Luis Diaz. Disasino uses his strength, brings it under control, lays it out towards the left. Chilwell closed down quickly by Bradley, the right back, loops up in the air, headed from Luis Diaz, says he was pushed from behind. Referee Chris Cadmus having none of that. Gravenberg brings it under control. Caicedo throws himself into the challenge. Jackson then gets it out towards Palmer. Gusto's going on the overlap far side the right. Palmer now midway through the Liverpool half, running to the edge of the area. Palmer still going, tries to pass it into the path of Jackson. And an outstretched foot from Van Dijk clears it. Back out towards Gusto, close down. Chelsea get a corner kick. Alan.
Really good play from Cole Palmer, that was. He had the option to hit it right to Gusto, who was up there supporting, but he was driving forward. He must have drove forward about 30 or 40 yards before he tried to pick the pass, but Liverpool read it well in the 18-yard box.
Chelsea, remember, have lost each of their last 5 domestic finals. To lose here today would be an unwanted piece of history. No side has ever lost 6 successive in English football. But they're playing from right to left. They have a corner far side to right, 0-0. It's going to be an in-swinger from that far side. Liverpool have everybody back. In it comes now. Kelleher punches the ball away. Gallagher left corner of the area. And then challenge. And Chelsea get a free kick for a foul from Luis Diaz.
Yeah, it was good goalkeeping from Gallagher. He got the opportunity to come and either take it or get 2 fists on it and punch it away as he did. But Liverpool give away the free kick in a dangerous area this time for Chelsea. Very similar to position that Liverpool were in 3-4 minutes ago at the other end. See if they can do a little bit better.
Now it's the Chelsea fans who find their voices and raise the volume inside Wembley Stadium with 12 minutes played. Free kick level in the penalty area. 3-4 yards in from the touchline on this near side to left as they play from right to left. And Liverpool have every red shirt back inside their own penalty area. So it's Gallagher and it's Chilwell who stand over this. Chilwell would be the outswinger off his left boot. It's Gallagher who will leave it for Chilwell. In it comes now. Disassi was up. Out it comes. Fired back in from Gusto. And a comfortable save from Gallagher for a crowd of bodies.
More of a floated ball in from Chilwell, wasn't it, rather than with pace whipped on it.
Bradley getting forward. Bradley's benefited here from a touch, and he's played the ball out to Luis Diaz. It's a diagonal ball, left side of the penalty area. Luis Diaz cuts inside, back heels the ball, back towards Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz looks for a shooting opportunity, gets the shot away, but it was a weak one. Only partially cleared by Chelsea, and then Caicedo manages to dispossess Luis Diaz. Conor Bradley is certainly not shy in getting forward. Paul Heckingbottom said that Liverpool are being aggressive. Bradley's getting forward at every chance as McAllister jumps from a distance and he's patted down by Petrovic.
Yeah, he's had a really, really good start to this game, Conor Bradley. He's the one that has had to defend when he's wanted to, but then he's actually, very much like we've seen Trent do, and he's got into the midfield and seen a lot of the ball already. It was really dangerous on that break when he played it out to the left-hand side into Diaz.
Slipped by Disassi, Gravenberg to Diaz, shoots low, beaten out by Petrovic, reacted very, very well. The mistake by Diaz almost was punished, but Petrovic was low down, very, very quick and smiley to his right.
It's a really good save that was, a good effort from Diaz. His eyes opened up when he seen the post. Can he get his shot away? He certainly did that, but the goalkeeper did well, Petrovic. Good save down to his right-hand side.
In the Six Nations, incidentally, France are leading Italy by 7 points to 0. Commentary at the moment is on the BBC Sport website, and then when Wolves Sheffield United finishes, currently that game in the Premier League is on Sports Extra, then that Six Nations match will switch to Sports Extra. But it's that's the situation in the rugby union, and of course the Rugby Union Daily podcast will always be available to reflect on the weekend's action in the Six Nations. As Ireland is still on course for the Grand Slam yesterday, and Scotland will no doubt be boasting for yet another success against England at Murrayfield yesterday evening. Chelsea with Gallagher, centre circle to Chilwell. Chilwell coming forward in the Liverpool half, slows down. Elliott then is in front of him, ball goes back, Fernandes holds off Elliott, still trying to snap away his heels. Mauricio Pochettino applauds, tries to whip up the Chelsea crowd as well. There's Disassi, ball out to Gusto. Did ever so well to control that around waist high. Infield to Palmer. 25 yards out from goal. Goes back to Casado. Square ball. Given the ball back by Enzo Fernandez. And then he just overhits it. But the first real sustained spell we've probably seen from Chelsea in these opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's been the difference up to now is that what Liverpool have done without the ball have been really aggressive when they haven't had the ball, and Chelsea's passing has had to be absolutely perfect on the once or twice that they've got through Liverpool, because it's been so, as I said, it's been so sharp and good.
The goal kick inside that penalty area for Liverpool is not back to Kelleher. Now he hits it long, and Diaz has made the run. Disasi goes with him. Disasi knees it away, gives himself a little bit more room to try and play it down the line to Chilwell. Under pressure again from Bradley. The referee, Chris Gavin, has given that free kick. Chilwell on Conor Bradley. That is what, the third, fourth time, Paul, that Bradley's got forward and surged forward on this near side.
Certainly, yeah, they're taking much more risk with the press. You're finding it's Bradley pressing the left back of Chelsea, Chilwell, and he knows he's got the security